Okay, we're going to record and then we're going to get ready to go live. So bear with me as I set this up again.
Go right ahead.
I know, right?
And you know what's so funny? I was looking at my calendar. I was like, why do I have next Tuesday blocked off? And it
You
just
know
dawned
why?
on me.
You know why now, don't you?
I
Okay.
do.
Okay, let's get this going. Okay, it's getting ready to go live. It's preparing. And as it's doing, it's because I'm getting used to this. Okay, okay. So we're going to go live. And our topic is going to be parasites live. Okay, and we're going to do that. And what that is doing, whatever it is that it's doing, it's getting prepared on that end. That require information about okay. Potato. Let's go back over here to where you are. And I'm gonna go and look and see if it's going live now. But however, how you doing, Dr. Rashad, today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are
Good.
you?
You know what? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Glad to be able to share this information. I'm gonna briefly tell you exactly how this came about, how this topic even happened. Um, you know, in our business and what we do, we get a lot of questions about stuff, and people send us all kind of stuff, all kind of information. So what has happened, we've been given some information on a topic um, about parasites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so as a result of it, I thought it would be good for us to tackle that particular topic.
Okay.
Now I've hit for it to go live on the other end. Don't quite know what it's doing, and I'm not gonna give a whole lot of thought into it. But we're gonna go ahead and record so we'll be able to still post it. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So with that going on and happening the way it is happening, because I'm going to look back over here and see what's going on the other side. Just give me just one moment, please, sir.
Go right on ahead.
I know, right? Okay, let's see what's happening with that. I'm going back over. I know we can do it YouTube, so we're not worried about it. Um, One thing I can say about Facebook, it has going live from Zoom. Some days it captures us very well, and then some days I'm not sure what it's doing. So, you know, so we kind of just go with the flow.
Right. I was about to say either way, as long as we have the recording, you can always go back and upload.
Absolutely. Okay, so go live. Anyway, okay, it's saying that it's getting ready to go. So we're just going to see where it's going, what it's going to do, and how it's going to be. So we're going to say hello to everybody. We're going to get our show on the road, which is, by the way, Dr. B is growing quite well. I'm really loving what's happening. I'm loving how it's happening. Um, I like, yeah, it's on. We're on live. Okay. Hello, everyone. And once again, welcome to our live. I am Dr. Suzette Robinson, and this is none other than the highly esteemed Dr. B. His name is Rashawn, and he is working, as you all can see. And he's the type, he don't let anything get between him and what he has to do. He's quite faithful when we talk about doing lives and we talk about giving information to people. He don't pretty much let anything come between him. And I'm really grateful to have him on the show and to share this platform along with me. And Dr. B and myself will probably be adding more doctors on to kind of speak about different things that we're encountering as we're working our businesses and learning more about what we're to do. Today, we're going to talk about parasites. Ew, but parasites are real. They are actually real. And we do see a lot of them. Dr. B, have you ever seen anyone while looking through, any parasites of any kind while going through your scoping?
I have not. I'll say I have been extremely fortunate to have not had to come across any parasites in any of my clients' head, hair, scalp while doing a scope. So I count myself very fortunate that has not been one of my issues.
Is that right?
No.
Well, I have you to know, just because we're talking about it today, there's a great chance you will see some.
Don't be speaking them up. Let them stay right where they are.
I'm here to tell you they are real, but this is what has happened. I have been contacted, and we have a case study. So we decided to share our case study on our live, okay? What we called our show is Let's Talk About It. So we're going to talk about this. I have a new client who has contacted me concerning a parasite that they're experiencing on their scalp. And I pretty much put it out there, and then I got the question, can parasites live on your scalp?
Okay, so how did the client know that she had a parasite?
No, she went to a specialist. She went to a dermatologist first,
okay.
who scoped her scalp, and they noticed something was going on, but they titled it, I think, as a fungus of some kind. Okay. So they gave her medicine and stuff like that for her scalp. She went ahead and started, using what they had given her, but it was not making the situation any better.
Okay.
So she ended up going to another specialist. And this particular one noticed that there was some abnormalities going on with her scalp, but did not know how to pinpoint exactly what it was. So now we have learned, being trichologists, hair loss practitioners, so on and so forth, as we studied the scalp, there is a lot to learn about the scalp that we have not covered or have never seen.
Right.
So we can't say that we got answers for everything, because everything is steadily changing.
Mm-hmm.
So she has spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to see specialists. She says she went to the Emory Hospital, and a specialist was looking, and they deemed it to be something that was going on inside. Look where I'm going to put this, up here, psychologically.
Really?
Yeah. So you guys, this is why I tell you, professionals, those of you that have taken classes from me, those of you that's trying to start your practices, people will contact you. They will find you. So you got to be up on your studies so that when they call you, you can be able to answer or give a good answer if you have one. So we got called on the scene for this particular case, which I think is a most excellent one. Now, I will say this, Dr. B, I noticed that when people do call with cases like this, I don't have an answer right then. Mm-hmm. Because one thing that I do, I will listen. And in my listening, it helped me to pretty much look for some things that possibly others didn't look for. But one question I think we need to answer: can parasites live on the scalp?
Yes.
Absolutely. If they can live in your stomach, if they can live under your skin, they can surely live under your scalp. Do we have parasites that eat at your hair, eat at your scalp, eat at your follicles? We do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, this made me do this. Oh God, now I got to study this. Okay, which is good. Parasites, this is what I found about parasites. And this is in the body. See, a lot of parasites enter the body through what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
And because one suggestion, Dr. B, I think is good to give to anyone that's listening to this live is to make sure that you watch your intake on the foods that you eat. I would suggest that people start preparing their food because you know how you're cooking it, and cook it at the right temperature so that if there's any living parasites within the food that you're cooking or preparing,
Mm-hmm.
you can destroy them.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Absolutely. And you know what? And the one of the main things, Dr. Robinson, is for people to make sure that the first thing before we even get to how we prepare our food is making sure that we cleanse the food when we bring it into our homes, right?
okay,
Because we
okay,
don't know how long or where it's been sitting. And so we want to make sure that the food is cleansed as it comes into our home. Go ahead and put your head
okay. Which is
down.
true. Which is true. Because you know what? Just think about it. I just got on to my grandson one day for eating some grapes.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't
Oh, I'm
cleaned them.
famous for that.
He just popped them in. My husband did a great observation on some grapes that we purchased. They were huge. They were huge. And he says, I don't remember grapes being this big or the skin on the grapes being that tough.
Right.
So I said, well, Donnie, that would lead me to think that these grapes probably have been tampered with. Okay. So we did a study, Dr. B, on food. Come to find out, a lot of foods have been tampered with and altered and sent in different areas where people live
Yes.
purposely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're fighting so many things. So, yes, parasites can live in a lot of things that we digest in our bodies.
You know
Okay.
what? Let me add to that because I had, ironically, summertime is watermelon season, right?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
I don't know about where you are, but I'm in Washington, D.C., and it is hard to find a watermelon with black seeds.
With black seeds in them?
Yes, like we had when we were little.
Yeah.
Yes, all the watermelons now are seedless, and they're not seedless literally. They just have these little white seeds. And so my grandmother said, you know what? I've been trying to find a watermelon with the black seeds. And I said, what is she talking about? And then I started to notice as I purchased watermelon just about on a weekly basis, but I never really thought about the seeds, that we don't really see the black seeded watermelon as commonly as we used to. And I say that just to speak to the fact that our food is genetically modified.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is. And, it's a dangerous thing, though, because one thing I realized is that we're not growing our own stuff anymore like our foreparents did. My mama thought if her greens didn't come out that garden, she wasn't going to eat them. And now we just kind of have moved to the stage where we go to the store and we purchase everything that we want and deem it to be safe.
Even the
Okay.
organic.
Yes, even the organic. They can slap a name on things and we will purchase it because it says this is organic, this is that. Okay. With all that being said, even though you're going to purchase and you're going to bring it home, Dr. B, there is a preparation you need to do before digesting anything. Anything. Do you hear me?
Absolutely.
So we've got to be careful too. So this is what I wanted to bring out, which I thought was really good. Parasites, this is dealing with glucose, your sugar intake, okay? Parasites, they eat the glucose, the sugar that stays within your breads and stuff like that that's in your that you eat, your pasta, your rice, and your sugary fruits, okay? So, so when you go into your when you're preparing your food, you need to watch how you're eating and what you're eating as well. And you know how people say, well, I count my calories, I count this and I count that. That's because they're trying to control what goes inside the body. Okay, think about it now. The body needs a certain amount of vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin D. You can go on and on. You need probiotics. There are so many things, that need to be done to the body. And with this COVID-19 going on, a lot of people are trying to be safe with washing their hands, with, covering their face and all of that. But another thing you need to be careful about is what you're intaking as you're eating. Okay? So, this is one thing I was looking at about the parasites and how they enter into the body. It says, how do you know if you have a parasite in your head? I haven't gotten to the scalp. I'm going to the head and I'm going to work my way back, okay?
Okay.
Parasites. Okay, first of all, seizures and headaches are the most common symptoms. However, confusion, lack of attention to people, surrounding difficulty with balance, excess fluid around the brain. Okay, now, I used to hear people say, if you put color in your hair to go to your brain, it'll do this, it'll do that, it'll do this. Okay. And I thought, really? I don't see that happening. But I do realize parasites can do that. And it can travel so far into the body. It can eat it all the way in. It can, it depending on what type of parasite it is. Okay. Now, when I was in school, we talked about only lice. Remember?
And that was right, the most commonly known.
Yes. So we talked about lice. We talked about, it was my understanding when I was in school, well, we didn't have to worry about being as a people of color because, they don't stick with us and they don't hang with us. They just be with those other people. Okay. Now, you can pay for being misinformed about information.
That's right.
Okay. For people that do not have practiced good hygiene, you can be an open book for any type of parasite to live on your scalp, in your hair, in your skin, you name it, wherever it can get in, it can stay. So when you hear people say, I don't shampoo my hair because the dirt makes it grow, okay, here's the flip side of that dirt that makes your hair grow. You can also create a home for parasites to live and feast off of you. Okay? So we also talked about another one in school, ringworms. Now, ringworm is a type of parasite. But do you know how bad a ringworm can get? It's more than just the little boys get it at the barbershop, or you can get it if you don't clean your clippers, or if you don't do this. It can take you out of here. Did you know that? Did you know it can do that? Now, even with the case study that we're doing, I believe she do have parasites, but this is what I do want to help with. My first question would be, what are you eating?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to think about, do you know some type of dairy products can cause you to have parasites in the body?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. People pick up stuff, they don't check dates, they just eat. Y'all know how we get. We just get it. It smells pretty good, eat it, you know. But but you can't do that. There's a danger in that, Dr. B. There's a great danger in that. It looked like you want to say something.
I was just going to say that brings me to the thought of, like you said, picking up eating grapes, or how we're in the grocery store. How do we test that little bag of grapes? We eat a few out.
That we love to eat. Yeah,
We'll eat a
yeah.
few out of there, but we have to remember that the fruit that comes in, and I noticed this again. I'm gonna go back to the watermelon, because I went to pick up my watermelon and I said, why is it dirt on the watermelon? Because it has not been cleaned again since being shipped inside the store.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
so same thing with those grapes. If that is happening to the watermelon, the grapes may not have been freshly washed.
True.
So
Now
we have
that's
to
a,
be careful.
but you know what? It's just, and then, you know, we can't easily dismiss some things that people are new case studies are coming up with scalp disorders and different things that are happening. And in
Mhm.
my studying, I was reading this I want to share. Let's go talk a little bit about the ringworm, then we'll move on to some other parasites, okay?
Okay.
Okay, ringworm of the scalp is not really a worm, okay, as people think, but it moves in a ringlet like a worm type uh,
Mhm.
movement, and
Yeah.
that's how it got its name. Okay, so um, it is a fungal infection. It gets the name ringworm because the fungus makes circular marks on the skin, often with flat center and raised borders, also called tinea capititis. I had to slow down to say that. Okay, this infection affects your scalp and hair shaft, causing small patches of itchy, scaly skin. You know what happens when people feel like they can self-diagnose themselves and self-treat themselves? Something simple, or not so much as simple, but something like a ringworm. Ringworms can get the
Much
infection
worse.
gets so bad, it can get into your bloodstream.
That's
Okay.
why it's important that those things are caught early on.
Yes, yes. And you know, even in our industry, even in what we're doing, that's why we have to take such precautions on when we're touching them, looking at it, analyzing. But it can lead. Did you know a ringworm can get so bad it could take your life?
Yeah.
See, I think a lot of times we take a lot of things for granted. And even being the specialists that we are, sometimes we look at something and because we've seen it before, we say, oh, I've seen this before. I'm gonna treat it this way and that way. But this is what I feel need to be very necessary. Not only do you need to pay close attention to it and treat it in the fashion that it needs to be treated, you cannot treat every situation the same.
Same. Hmm.
So this parasite that I'm going to share, she's going to allow me to share some pictures of what it looks like, and I can't share it today, but we're going to share it. But it very well looked like a simple ringworm. Well, not simple. I don't like to use the word simple because everything is serious to me. But it was, and it got out of hand. So when we get where we try to self-diagnose, self-treat, we can very well put things on those situations that we have and make them worse. Do you know you can agitate it, aggravate it, and cause it to just really spread? So because a lot of times we're not diagnosing things correctly or not putting the time in to study to find out what's really going on, sometimes we add more
We
harm
do
to
more
it.
harm. Mm-hmm.
So at the end of this, I'm going to post, because I know we're not going to have time to go through all 10, but there are 10 natural um, uh,
Remedies.
herbal remedies that can be done that will help prevent parasites in the body. So your scalp and your skin, your hair, your nails and your teeth, all those things are part of your body. So if you can handle or get rid of the parasite itself in the body, it will not operate in those areas that are manifesting that there is a problem. So I can venture to say that this parasite that she's experiencing is not just on the scalp, it's just manifesting in the scalp, but it's in the body.
Body, right?
It's in the body. So here is something that I want to share. Can parasites live on your in your hair? Go hair in your hair.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, what people fail to realize, you are a living being, and if that parasite is feasting, and it is feasting off of your living body, it can live on your hair. It can live on your hair. And let me tell you why I said that. Okay. There are several parasites in the environment, and when they get into a person's body, I'm going to go back. It's in the environment. Let's go back to something simple as that watermelon. Let's
Right.
go back to that grape that we love to pick off the. Now, y'all, if you're guilty, don't eat no more. Don't do that. Okay? Just don't do it. If you hadn't cleansed it well, don't do it. If you get an apple and it has that shiny coating that looks like wax that makes the apple so appealing and you just gotta have it, please don't eat it. Don't do it. Do this. Take it home and cleanse it very properly. Okay? And I can even say, why don't you just remove the hull? If you're unsure, if you can't get it off, just cut the hull part off. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's see. It goes into the body. His or her health can be affected. So you asked me the question, can it? Yes, it surely can. It can live anywhere. And a lot of people say, I just got this itch. Now, here's another thing that's kind of, parasites are in the weeds that we purchase. I often tell people, if you're going to beauty supply store, please, I'm begging you, if they got a box of hair and it's on the floor, don't you purchase no hair in that box.
Set up. Right.
And then a lot of hair is being shipped over here, Dr. B, into the United States of America. And in those crates, depending on how they properly put them in there or not, parasites get into the woven piece of that weed. You cannot see it with your naked eye.
Right. You know what?
And
That's it.
uh,
Really important. That's a really important point, because we have to think of it like this. We know that the hair does not come from within the United States, right?
okay, okay,
And we
okay,
know that cleansing practices are not the same as we go from country to country.
right.
So, what I always tell my clients that are going to do weaves, even with the hair that I sell, is I pre-treat it, which is do a pre-cleanse to make sure that anything that may have traveled, that may have hitched a ride,
Yes,
that has stowed away, has
yes.
been removed before I put it in the client's hair, because otherwise I'm going to be transferring from one set of hair to another. And
Mm,
understanding that parasites, of course, they live off of living things,
come on.
right? They're
Yes.
going to be more happier in my client's head than in that weave that was in the box.
Yeah.
So it's really important that, you know, when you do that, when you use extension hair, that you do a pre-cleanse or you pre-treat it so that you remove anything that may have come along with it. And like you said, you don't know how long that hair has been sitting in the store. So,
No, you
and
don't.
where it's been sitting in the store, if it's been sitting on that box, in the box on the shelf or on the floor, you know, what have you, and you don't know what else has gotten into it.
True. True. Now, you know what? And then it's kind of eerie when you think, those of you that have worn hair, okay, good example. I'm going to use my own hair. Y'all see my braids that I love to put on and wear. I have to pre-treat my hair before I actually plait it on. And let me tell you why. Because I have put on some of this hair right here that's packed all up and everything. And wherever it touches me, you know, it just drives me or I've had some to break me out. I've had some to just, I had to just take off because it is toxic. Sometimes it has a coating on it. It may even have a parasite that I can't see. Okay, so I'm saying this, if you've ever experienced that, okay, how pretty your hair was, if it is irritating you, you have an allergic reaction, or very well, it may have something in it that is eating at you. So you want to make sure that you get your hair from, this is why professionals, we are so important. And I'm talking to professionals, if you're looking at this, you need to get on your A game and get your stuff together. You stop purchasing hair where people can pick it up and it, you know what I'm saying? I like going to a place where it's certified. It requires that I have to have a license because I know they're going to keep their stuff up to date. I know that, you know what I'm saying? Their stuff have gone through the test. Or if you're going to, just like Dr. B has a hairline, he's going to make sure his hair is number one, free of parasites. He just told you he pre-treats.
Right.
So here we are wanting to look good. Wigs are popular. Weaves will never go out. Just we want to look good. It's the same with our lashes. You can get parasites in that too. Everything, everything that's being shipped, you don't know how it's coming. You guys that love Wish, I wish you stop. Don't buy no hair from Wish. No reflection on anybody on here that's doing the Wish. I'm just saying, you don't know where it's coming from, what it has gone through. Do not take a chance on using things that you don't know where it's coming from, because you don't know. You may not be one of those people. I can just take it off. Some people really get sick behind this. Okay? So yes, parasites can live if you're alive and if it can eat off you. Yes. Okay? And
And
there's
the
a
other thing, Dr. Robinson, is we got to think, we know that parasites live off of other living things,
so what
right?
again? I'm sorry.
No problem. I said we know that parasites live off of other living things. When they do that, they deprive the living thing of something.
Right.
So that is part of the reason why, like you said, people have these reactions or they experience symptoms because the body is now being deprived of the nutrients by the parasite as it's feasting and eating off the person.
Come on now. So you know what, though, Dr. B? As being now as being a specialist, it makes us so aware of things that we probably, when I was in the salon, I didn't think like that. I just, you know, I didn't know that. I, I didn't know nothing. I just wanted to make some money, make people look good, and whoop, there it is. But when I had people that was going to the doctor, people that was telling me they were sick, having issues, hair coming out, I then got alarmed. I was like this, what?
Either,
And
either me,
and this me, well, it has nothing to do with me, I'm sure.
right?
It could have been, did you study? Did you find, okay, so now I know, okay, I've got to do better in order, because now you could be held liable for a lot of things. So you don't want that. So our job today is to kind of shed some light and to help you understand. Give me just one moment. I'm going to go get this paper. I want to share some information. Give me
Sure.
just one moment. I'm not going to disappear. I'll be right here, but hold on.
Okay. And we'll be back after these messages.
I know, right?
Yes, and pardon y'all if y'all hear my blow dryer, because you know I'm always in here.
He is trying, listen, he is such a professionalist. He's doing his work. Now, my clients right now are mannequins, so I'm going to get to them after I finish this live. So if you have any questions on this live, I have someone that's on here that will relay your questions to Dr. B and myself, because on our screen, we can't really see your questions at this time. So if I'm not speaking to you, it's because I don't see you, but hey.
We have a producer.
Yeah, we do. And we're learning how to do things professionally. So he's going to kind of let me know if someone is asking a question, if I've said something that they need clarity on. I'll be able to answer you that way. And another thing, just like she sent in her questions, you need to send yours in as well, because I know y'all got questions. Some of y'all sitting looking at this live right now have experienced that itchiness, that tightness, that discomfort, and you know what, you need answers. That's one thing that, and this is a commercial break. That's why Dr. B and myself, we have opened ourselves up to do virtual consultations now, which I'm liking, because we have a platform where I can't get to them, but they can contact me and we can see each other and help them possibly with some issues or some things that they might be able to do to help. Okay, so we're open for virtual. So all you can do is contact us. If you don't get an answer, it's because you didn't ask it. Okay, so I'm saying, you know, there's a way that that God has prepared for us to get answers to our questions. And you know what? The reason why some of us stay in the situation that we're in, and we move from just having a spot here, Dr. B, to a spot here, to a spot here, to a spot here, to just going to completely bald. And this is the kicker. Not just we're bald. I have some people that I know who can't wear wigs because their scalps are messed up. Hear me good. So we're not just talking about, hey, we can make a wig, we can make it look good. Yeah, we can do all that. But we're trying to save you. Okay. In other words, we're trying to help you with your scalp disorders, because they can get so bad. Yeah, go ahead.
No point in covering it up.
No, I mean, and some people can't. Dr. B, it has gotten so bad they can't stand for nothing to be on their scalp. They can't go out. Y'all, this mess with their self-esteem. They start having stress issues, and it just, you know, it just go from bad to worse. We're trying to prevent that, because I get a chance to see some stuff that I say, wow, okay. I can't say I've seen everything because I haven't. But what I've seen it, believe it. But so that's the purpose of what we do, is because, and you all that's self examining yourself, and those of you that are licensed cosmetologists, barbers, even those that's touching your skin, you need to hear this. Please get the certification that you need, because these people like this are going to sit in your chair. I know some of us know how to really make people look good. Hold on, I got a question. See, I knew a question was coming. What? Wait. It says, can a young. Okay, yes, you can get parasites in your nails. We're going to go through that. So just hold what you got. I'm glad you asked that. That's a great question, because you know what? See, we try to give information for everybody. Because some people think when we're talking about hair loss, we're just talking about people that's just going bald. We're trying to do preventive services now. We don't want you to come to us because you don't have any hair. We want you to come because you want to prevent even getting to that point. There are things
I
you can
want
do.
you to come with some hair.
Yeah, because I do. Listen, I do like doing some people with hair. But you know, we know this is going to happen, and that question, Tan, thanks for that question. Um, 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 my producer is trying to get my attention. And y'all, by the way, let's talk about it. It's getting ready to go on a big platform, so um, we're gonna still be on Facebook some, but we will be probably doing a lot of demonstration and different things. It'll be on YouTube. And we're gonna, because we got to kind of broaden it, because we're getting a lot of uh, questions and things from people from a lot of places, and I want to be able to reach them and give them what they need. But I'm not going to desert you all, but I'm just letting you know so you can catch us on more than just this platform, okay? And so I think we have another question. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, Dr. B. Okay, yeah, back to this. Some parasites enter the body by the way of contaminated food
That's strange.
or water. So your water can be contaminated. Parasites travel in your water. So when you're drinking your water, I got some food for it, but when you're drinking your water, you can't see the parasites in the water. I'm gonna go and help you with that. A lot of things we think we can see, we cannot see them with the naked eye, but you can feel it when it's in your body. It can travel all over the body, all over the body. So we know that it can come through food, it can come through water. What else I wanted to bring out? Oh, and some live on the skin. Some live on the skin and the hair. Examples of parasites include your stomach. You know, I think at some point in time, because we are also we're into wellness, and I'm a certified um, drugless practitioner. So I deal with a lot of the body. The gut is one part of the body where parasites love to live. So I'm saying that to say this, Dr. B, into the audience. Listen, if it can enter in where you're eating your food, drinking your water, it can live anywhere. And so when she asked the question, and sometimes we dismiss people so quickly, yes, this could be something serious. So she told me she used some astringent one time, if I'm not mistaken, on an area, and was able to see something that looked like lint, but it was slightly moving. Those are called mites. Those are called mites. Yeah. And they can live. See, this is why it's important that we even dust our homes and change our bed clothing, and you know, sometimes clean your mattress that you lay on. These things can live on the, yes, they love the human skin.
I was
Love
about to
it.
say, yes, that's the thing. It's the skin, and we have to keep in mind that, like you said, with our bed linens, those have what do you call it? The skin cells that come off that naturally shed, you know, and those are the things that the mites and other little critters they like.
Yeah. Isn't that something though? Now, remember I told you that the question was asked, can parasites look like hair? Here's
Mm-hmm.
the answer. Well, we know that it can live on the hair, so we've answered that. We told you exactly how it can enter the body, okay? And those of you, I got to go back to this. They got combs, brushes, Sometimes you dig in your head with pins that you pick up off the floor. Just stuff that you don't really clean and you don't think about. You just kind of put it in there. Parasites can live on those too. So, y'all, you know, if you're going to be conscious of everything, be conscious of that. But this is what is important. Is there a parasite that looks like hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a video I was going to show, but it's kind of nasty. I was going to share my, y'all want to see it? I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to do something a little different that I don't normally do. I'm going to share my screen on this live. They're me and Dr. B. And so I'm going to come off of this and I'm going to go here. Okay, here's the video. And hopefully you can see this on the, I'm going to try to get it to play. Let's see, will it play for us? Oh, yay. Here it is. Okay, so pay attention to this. Good old parasite.
Wow. Now, Dr. Robinson, I'm not sure if people can hear. Are you able to hear sound on your end?
You don't, hey, let's ask Mr. Robinson, can he see it? Because, let's see.
Because I can see it, but I can't hear anything.
You can't, well, hold on. Sorry if you couldn't see it, but y'all saw it? You was able to see it? Were you able to hear it? Okay, they were able to hear it. I stopped it. I'm gonna stop it because on that show, which I'll post it after this video, on that show, they talked about the parasites being on the inside. And it goes back to the point where we were talking about you eating and it's entering into the body. You heard the doctor say it can come out the eye, it can come anywhere the nose. And let me tell you, when God created this body, he created our body. Things that are not supposed to be in our body, the body tries to push it out. Okay, even parasites, it tries to push it out. Depending on what your immune system is like, depending on what your body, what type of physical, however your body is at that time. If you're in a weak state, it can do a lot of damage to you. You understand what I'm saying now? So as we're being so health conscious, let's be careful about what we put in our mouth and where we get it from, and not eat those grapes in the grocery store. But, you know, that video is kind of lengthy, but I will post it so people can see it. Because you need to know, and we Google everything, but there are some things we really need to pay attention to. Like meats. Great example, I looked at one video and it was showing parasites inside the meat that we eat, okay? And y'all, we got to look at it this way. Some of the things that we get, they come from different places where people are not really careful or cautious on how they pack the meat or whatever. So even when you get it from the grocery store, Dr. B, do you agree there's something that you can do to your meats and stuff before eating them?
Absolutely. First of all, you can wash your meats. You can put up. You can do different types of cleansers. So
Can you
like you
push
may
your
want.
can you push your screen over just a little bit so I can get a little bit more of your beautiful face? There you go. Okay.
So
Okay.
like you can like some meats you can rinse them with a little bit of vinegar to make sure that you remove anything that might be lingering onto it. You know, you can clean it. That's why it's important for us to thoroughly clean, like we love chicken, thoroughly clean our chicken, you
Okay,
know.
that's me.
And like you said, because you don't want to put something in the body, and then if your immune system is not, say, functioning to the optimal level, then, you put yourself at risk for something else.
You
You
really
know,
do.
and our bodies are well-oiled machines. That's how they're supposed to run. And when we experience these symptoms, of course, something is wrong. So, like I was thinking earlier when you were talking about the weed, we've known over the years, or we laugh at the patting of the head, and we laugh at that, but that is really an allergic reaction that is taking place.
Say that,
And
Dr. B.
it may not be something severe, but your body is letting you know that something is not right.
Yeah.
We say that, oh, when my hair is braided, it itches. Yes, because there's something in the hair that is causing an allergic reaction. So what, our the manufacturers have come up with different sprays and things like that to stop the itch. If you're having that type of problem, you need to take that out.
You know
That's
what? I agree with you on that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot of times, you know what though? Because a lot of times you get relief. And
mhm.
have you ever taken your hair, your weave or whatever, and just rinsed it, and you see all this stuff coming out of it, and it was on your head? What I mean was, and you just bought it out the pack. I have done that before, and I was like, God, no wonder my hair was itching. What is all this crap, But see, when you don't know, you don't know. So you got to be careful. Now, here is back to the part where I asked the question: is there a parasite that looks like hair? Horsehair worms, part of the uh, taxonomic. These are parasitic worms. These are parasitic worms. Do you hear me? And they look like little strings, and you know what? Because you don't really know what you're looking at, you wouldn't know. Because when we use our scope, sometimes you'll see that on the scalp. That's why I always tell when you're using a scope, always have your gloves on. Because just because a person comes in, they look well dressed and everything is up to your eye appears to be number one, and then
Normal.
yeah, and then they're telling you, but I got this sensation. Now, have you ever felt like something was crawling on your scalp? And you know what people say? That's my nerves. Is that true? Is that my nerves really doing that? Or, or, or,
Is it a parasite?
guys, see, sometimes now we have sensitivity that we feel, and there are things that we will feel, but we will dismiss a lot of things too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go get some oil or something and just rub it in that area. So what are you doing to that area? You're not soothing that itch. You're causing another issue.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's just say you go get some sea breeze. I had to use sea breeze, and you put it on the head. What do you think gonna happen then?
If you put sea breeze on the hair,
Sea breeze
first of
on
all,
that.
you're
What's
gonna
gonna happen?
dry the hair out.
Oh, really?
And
It's gonna make my scalp feel better.
yeah, but all you did was create another sensation to the scalp. So like the sea breeze has a cooling effect because of the menthol. So you substitute that itch with the cooling effect. So you think you have actually done something, but in a couple of minutes, if that is truly a parasite or something living, that sensation that you originally tried to cover up is going to come back.
Is it gonna come back
So you haven't done
worse or
anything but remedy the problem for a second.
only for a second? But you hadn't killed the problem. The root of the problem is still a problem.
It's still
Okay.
there.
Now, who is to say you didn't spread it?
That's true.
So you got to think about it. So in that case, Dr. B, would it be safe to say that you probably need to go seek a professional
Absolutely.
so that you can get the situation taken care of?
Yep.
You
So
know?
that you can be properly diagnosed.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's true. Because you know what? I do think a lot of people are being misdiagnosed. You know, even with the person that we're checking on right now, I do believe that had she probably gotten maybe, you know, now some of my clients, they have to get an allergy test.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know what they're allergic to because, you know, you need to know what's going on with them because now topically, we could tell them a lot of things that they could do. But if it's
But
beyond,
internally,
yeah, if it's an internal issue, you've got to take the time to get them to the proper treatments. And you know what? This is one reason why we work alongside the physicians because there are some things that's beyond what we can do, and we have to recognize it as such and send them to the proper physicians that can help them. But when it comes to explaining or telling them if they ask you a question about if a parasite can live on the scalp, on the hair, on your skin, in your body? Yes. The answer is totally yes. I mean, yes. No doubt about it. But here's something else. Um, where was I? Parasitic worms they resemble long, thin strands of hair. Did you hear me? They resemble long, thin strands of hair. Okay? The worms have largely featureless bodies because they're essentially a single, meaning they're just one single. You can't really see a single strand of hair unless you lay it up against something. Okay? When you look at my hair, you see my hair. Well, you see the hair I got on. You see, you see my hair. And it's visible because it's a lot of it together. But one single strand, I would really have to take a close look upon that to see it. So when you're talking about parasites, you can't see the parasite, so to speak. You may look at your scalp and you may just see your hair. And
mm-hmm.
it may not be your hair. It could be a parasite because they resemble just a single strand of hair. So there are different types. There are types that live in the hair. There are types that live on the scalp. Okay? So here's some more information. I hope this is helping somebody. Okay. What parasite causes thin hair? This was another question, Dr. B. Several insect parasites can produce oozing skin eruptions and hair thinning and hair loss. Okay, prominent among these is the mites. Remember the mites I was talking about? Mites you can't necessarily see. Remember, only ones we talked about was lice and stuff like that in school. This was before hair loss, hair practitioners, trichology has gotten to be blown like this. Why? Because we're experiencing more severe cases that's dealing with the scalp, the skin, the nails, you name it. It is happening. It is happening just like the COVID-19. It is, this is another pandemic that's going on. So we have to be really equipped to give the information that's needed adequately to help the people that are looking for our services, okay? So as we have learned and is learning, there are 10 essential oils, not oils necessarily, there are herbal things that we can do that will help us with parasites on the inside of the body. I'm going to post those because they're kind of lengthy in what I typed out. So I'm not going to read all of that. But I do think that it's good to post for people to see so that you can get a greater understanding of what's really happening. And to answer questions such as this is what we do. And Dr. B, is there anything else that you want to add to this?
What I would say is, well, one of the common parasites that people tend to have that they kind of don't think about is Demodex. And so most often, and that, is often seen with the hair loss because people usually see it. It's a parasite that lives on the skin and it kind of looks like a little worm when you look at it, but it has, I think, like 8 legs or something like that. And basically where people, it tends to live like close to the eyes. So people who may not have eyelashes or
Okay.
eyebrows or hairline hair, because it lives towards that area, that's something that they may be experiencing. And so I think one of the most important things that we talked about is when you see certain symptoms of things, you have certain issues, it's important that you go have them checked out so that somebody can, like you said, you are able to look at it through a scope. A trichologist may be able to look at it through the scope, the dermatologist may be, but somebody has to look at it in depth to be able to see what
They
the
really
issue
do.
truly is, and so that you can get to the root of it. Because a lot of times what I see is the self-diagnosis
Uh-huh.
is which causes a lot of harm, because you think it's one thing and you call yourself treating it as that thing that you thought it was, but it's really something else. And you, like you said, in your personal treatment, you may make the issue worse.
You're
You may
right.
spread whatever the issue is.
So if someone is looking at this, Greg, I got to read something Greg wrote in his comment. Um, I'm going to read some of the comments. Greg said, over my years, I've seen it in men and women. It's real. Now, the thing of it is being in the industry that we're in, and those that's doing nails, dealing with massage, skin, you name it, you're going to see this at some point. This is the thing. What do you do when you see it? How do you handle that?
Run.
Besides running. But really, if you don't know what to do, you will panic. You will panic. But now here's a suggestion from a professional. Don't try to treat what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Please. Don't, and don't make up nothing. Don't, because sometimes you can cover up something, especially a scalp disorder, though, and you can make it worse to the point that they can end up in ICU. So you want to make sure that you become very knowledgeable about what you're looking at. You want to be at, hello, Sharon Ray. I want to speak to y'all. Hello, LaShawn D. This is very important. Tan says, I wash my meat with vinegar and I soak it soaking
Mhm.
with it too. That's good. Because you know what? Somebody told me what to do with a strawberry one day, and I thought, oh God, if this gonna look nasty, I'm not gonna eat any more strawberries. But there are parasites in some strawberries. Yeah. So she told me to drop it in a boiler, and I boiled it. And true enough, it was nasty what I seen. So can some parasites are, and someone asked, well, can I just eat? Are some of them you can eat? Who wants to eat a parasite? I'm just gonna go there.
And then we just say that we don't want them in our body.
We want them out. So
We're trying to evict them.
we really are. So we're trying to shed some light. If you all or anybody on this live or on the replay, if you see this and you know of someone or you want to get more information, because we couldn't give you everything that we have, but we can surely email it to you or possibly we'll get it to you. If you drop your email, I'll send it by email. But if you're on Facebook, I can tag you to that. But I'm gonna try to post the 10 um
Herbal
herb,
remedies.
yeah, herbal remedies. I am so like the herbal remedies that you all can definitely put into your body. And you know what? To be on the safe side, get a good cleansing. Anyway, listen, here's a good one. Those of you that have dogs, you know how your dogs may have worms and you give them that medicine and they poop it out and you can actually see the worms moving in the poop. I know that's a little graphic, but that's the best I can do. I've seen it. Those are parasites. Parasites can get in anything. If it can get in a dog, it can get in you. So we need to be careful. Hopefully you got some more questions. Hopefully we've answered some of the questions. Now, we will keep you informed as we do our case study, because this case study is going to take us on a journey, I'm sure. But it's going to be well worth it, because if as we find out information that will help um, the person that we're working with, it can help you and I. So one thing about it, Dr. B, we don't give any information that we're not trying ourselves or not doing ourselves.
Mhm.
Okay. And so, Dr. B, is there anything else? Have I covered everything so far?
I think,
Anything?
like you said, we will definitely have to come back and talk more about it as we continue to do some more research and more information unfolds from the client. So, we'll definitely do a recap. Well, not a recap, but like a part 2 to this.
Yeah. And I will try, if I can get permission. There are some things that I do have access to, but I gotta get permission to post it. Um, I may be able to post under magnifying, under the scope
So,
that we have, what the parasite looks like on some weave. But
mhm.
once I get it okayed, I will definitely put it out. I think some people won't believe until they see some stuff, and I get that. But I'm trying to keep you from seeing it, because if it's really on you, you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it, but you definitely will feel it.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Creeping and crawling.
yeah, I just started itching. Let me stop. So we've enjoyed you all once again. Looking forward to seeing you again on Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Dr. B is going to have a surprise for us, I'm sure. So he'll post what we're going to do next. We're going to invite more doctors in. So you'll see just more than me and Dr. B sometimes. And because we all got some things that we're dealing with, that we're seeing, that need to be talked about, need to be brought to your attention, in hopes that things will get better for you. You'll eat better, live better, and be better. I'm Dr. Suzette Robinson, and my dear friend,
And Dr. Broadnax.
and he has one more time to call himself a guest. He is not a guest, you hear me? But we are part of NBCL, along with the Institute of Cosmetology. The things that you hear us discuss and our education and becoming the doctors that we got our education through the Institute of Cosmetology. I noticed most of the Institute on the live, somebody will send in their information and I will forward it to the person that they need to talk to in their state so they can get linked up with us. We're looking forward to expanding the MBCL and the IOC. I'm sure Dr. B will do his cap. I'd love for him to talk about our organization. I'm so elated to be a part of the National Beauty Cultures League. I'm also just excited to be part of Theta Nu Sigma. Yes. You gonna get your shot on?
Yeah, sure. And I'm a part of Sigma Nu Theta.
Oh. So we're very excited. Through the IOC, we have learned business. We have learned how to be professional. We have learned, and we're still learning how to manage our finances, how to stay out of debtor's court, how to stay out of bankruptcy. And during this time, during the pandemic, I think this is so needed because we're learning how to make our businesses with an S, businesses be professional and efficient. So when things happen and we have to take a seat back sometimes and other things come up and it's offered to us, we have our paperwork in order so we can be eligible for some things that we need. You're not a real business just because you got a name. You're not a real business because you got a Facebook page. You're not a real business because you can make people look good. You're a real business when you get your business right. Okay?
In order.
In order, because you do not want anyone to come back and get you, and they will. Believe me, they will. And all you got to do is make one person upset. They don't get what they want when you're doing their beautiful hair. They can turn you in and turn your life upside down. So start out right so right can follow you. The Institute of Cosmetology is so, what word can I use, Dr. B? It's worth looking into.
Well, it's definitely worth it. You know, I think any form of education is definitely worth having. And so, personally, I'll say since joining the Institute, it has opened my mind to the various facets of the industry, but also exposed me to a lot of different um, nuances when it comes to operating a business within the industry. So,
Absolutely.
to me, I think it definitely is worth it.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you something. When people um, are looking to expand their business in this beauty industry, definitely the National Beauty Cultures League can be a great asset. Um, because I do miss the fact that we couldn't convene this year, but we did get together. We did. We're still getting together. And I notice a lot of people, this is a tag to go out there. A lot of people try to get in on our page, I see. And
Mhm.
but you need to be a member,
Right.
okay? This is an elite group. You need to be a member because a lot of us have worked extremely hard to get where we are, to be a part of this organization. And one thing I'm gonna say this, in our industry, in our business, one reason why I don't open up to people that's not licensed to educate them is because you need a license to get the education or take the classes that are offered because that is set up that way. That's the professional way to do it. Yeah, a lot of people are giving away their top secrets. They're doing whatever, that's them. We don't do that. We have to go through the proper channels to get and be a part, and it is well worth it. If you're a student, you can contact us. We do have some education for students. Like if you're in beauty school, I don't mean in high school, just in school, but if you're in beauty school, yes, we have education. We have a way of educating you on that end too. But what I'm saying is that continue to follow us, continue to share, to continue to like. And until next time, you can send all your questions, correspondence to P2P information 7 gmail.com. Look for us also at P2P BHAM. I think our YouTube channel is about to change. I will let you know about that. But we're so grateful, Dr. B. Anything you want to say before you can do the salutation?
I just thank you all for joining us this evening and look forward to sharing more information with you all in the coming week. And next week, oh yes, next week we're doing hair pieces. So, and I promise I will not be at work. I have dedicated that evening. No, I cannot. I was dedicated that evening to be home so that I can show you the various hair pieces that I have. And, you know, and I hope you enjoy that. So.
I'm more than sure you will. Thank you once again, those of you that have joined us on our live. It has been our pleasure, and we're getting ready to sign off. So, Dr. B, we're going to say good night. I think he's talking to a client.
I'm sorry. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Tell me what you said.
I said my car is ready to stop.
Yeah.